Alex Pereira joined Jon Jones and Conor McGregor as the only three men who Bruce Buffer has introduced as the one, the only. And I am here to tell you that it is completely undeserved, and I'll tell you why. Conor McGregor changed the sport forever. The UFC no longer competes with other MMA promotions. They compete with other sports leagues, brands, other big, the NFL, NHL, MLB, NBA. These are the people the UFC is in competition with. They don't look at anybody else in their field, in their genre. They have to look elsewhere for competition because of Conor McGregor. Without Conor McGregor, the UFC, you know, it was the fighters just did what they were told. The fighters weren't in the mindset of renegotiating contracts. Without Conor McGregor, we probably don't see Francis do what he did. We probably don't see Jon Jones do what he's doing, where he's like, no, I'm not going to fight Tom Aspinall for the same money. You're going to come and you're going to pay me what I deserve to be paid as the GOAT of the sport to fight this other guy, that you're building up. But that's all the UFC does. That's what the business they are in, right? They build up fighters for other fighters like a Jon Jones to come and cut him down, and then, Jon is still Jon. Point being, Conor McGregor has done a tremendous service to every fighter that fights in the UFC after his career, after his debut, really. Like, after his run, everybody else after the post-Conor McGregor era owes a thank you to Conor McGregor, okay? So that's why he deserves the one and the only, right? He was the first. He was the one to do it. Simultaneous double champ, right? He's the guy. Now Jon Jones is one of the best ever, defeating people such as Shogun Rua, Rampage Jackson, Rashad Evans, Vitor Belfort, Lyoto Machida. The other guys, to me, like the later part of his career, Daniel Cormier I could throw in with those guys as well. But the guys like Dominic Reyes and Anthony Smith and Thiago Santos, like those are just afterthoughts. Those are just the light heavyweight versions of what Tom Aspinall is now in 2025. Tom Aspinall is that new guy on the rise. Dominic Reyes was too at one point. Thiago Santos was too at one point. Anthony Smith, all of these guys who Jon has fought was like this, not all, right? Like OSP, even Anthony Smith never fit that bill. But my point is that people, in hyping the fight and promoting the fight, the UFC would promote these guys as, oh, he's got one punch knockout power, right? They would all be promoted the same. Oh, they're the one to do it, to make you believe. And why should Jon fight another guy who's just the same thing? You get my point? For the same pay, at least. He needs to get paid. He needs to be compensated. He is, of course, one of, if not the greatest to ever set foot in the octagon. So that's why he gets called the one and the only. But Alex Pereira, let's get right into this. Alex Pereira never fought a wrestling-centered fighter. Even after last night, I could still say that. Ankalaev is not a wrestling-centered guy. He's not a wrestling-minded guy the way a Daniel Cormier is. Daniel Cormier is a guy who his main priority is to get a takedown. That's not Ankalaev. That's not Jan Blachowicz. You get what I'm saying? That is Derek Brunson, though. A guy who he could have fought when he was on his middleweight run. But that's not what happened. What happened is the UFC, just like that meme of, Master Splinter walking with the Ninja Turtles hand by hand, and then when he's older, he's holding their hands all old. It's the same thing. The UFC was holding Alex Pereira's hand on his way to the middleweight title. Let's not get it twisted, okay? Shama, I understand. It's cool. It's fun. Awesome. Left hooks. I love left hooks. They're great. His knockout win over Izzy was spectacular. But let's not act like this guy was thrown to the wolves. The way Izzy was, right? Let's not act like, why can't we be honest? Why can't we be honest and say that Alex Pereira was 100% handheld to the middleweight title? They were very careful with him. He didn't have to fight Sean Strickland that fight. He could have fought, a wrestling heavy guy. He could have fought Marvin Vettori. I think Marvin Vettori wins that fight, bro. I think Marvin Vettori not only wouldn't have been afraid to throw hands with him, and Marvin Vettori, you know, he's got some power to him, but he would have been mixing it up with the wrestling. And I think he would have been catching Alex Pereira as well with the hands after mixing it up with the wrestling. I think Alex Pereira also is very fortunate that the light heavyweight division is primarily filled with strikers. They are not they're not like these Phil Davis, Rashad Evans, even Rampage Jackson would have gave Alex Pereira a hard time, bro. Rampage Jackson back in the day, bro, his ability to wrestle, pick people up, slam them, his takedown defense. Watch his fight with Kevin Randleman. If you have not watched his fight with Kevin Randleman, I inquire you to do so. I implore you to do so. I don't even want to spoil it for you. Go check it out. And you'll see, oh yeah, Alex Pereira's toast. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is not a Anderson Silva level guy where it's like he's just beating style after style after style. This is a guy who was spoon-fed. He was handheld matchups until they really couldn't deny Ankalaev anymore. They tried to like shield their eyes and see no evil and, you know, please look away. They tried to do that to Ankalaev, but Ankalaev just kept winning. He just kept putting himself, and he became undeniable. And now he's the champion and Alex isn't. So that's pretty much it, bro. Like, I just thought it was crazy. I think it really watered down the term one and the only. Because now if Alex Pereira's the one and the only, now Robbie Lawler's the one and the only. Now, you know, Donald Cerrone's low-key the one and the only. Like, we got to call everybody one and the only now, bro. Like, this is crazy to me. Like, you can't just give that stuff out. Before Alex, right? Like, I wish there was a way, like, you know, before Alex, it was Jon and Conor, and that's it. Because they deserved it. And there was maybe, you know, if George St. Pierre came back, George St. Pierre should have been the one and the only. If Anderson came back, he should be the one and the only. You know what I mean? Like, there's certain echelon of fighters, but now you added this guy in there, Alex Pereira, who's a double champ, sure, but now Daniel Cormier got to be called the one and the only if he makes a return. And I don't think he, like, how many of the one and the onlys is there? Like, can we have 15 the one and the onlys? You know, like, it's just, I don't know, bro. I don't know. The one and the only Justin Gaethje, the one and the only Rafael Fiziev. He's the only one to do the lean backs, the one and the only, you know, like, then everybody can be called the one and the only. The one and the only Lyoto Machida, right? That karate style, the one and the only, like, it's just, it doesn't make sense. The one and the only should have been for a small collection of fighters. And it still is, right? It's 3. But the fact that you let him in, it watered it down. And now you have, like, the bar is low. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, whether you agree, disagree. It does not matter. Just join the discussion, follow for more, and leave a like if you enjoyed the time spent. You are all thanked and appreciated.